In the first section of this module, we're going to construct the stairway. The stairway is going to go from the first floor up to the mezzanine level, and it's just a first introduction to how to use the modeler to construct these types of stairways. In this case, it's a steel or an assembled stair, and I have an example of what that would look like in reality on the right here. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I'm going to escape out of this, and we'll go to Revit, our BIM modeler, and start building that stairway. The first thing we want to do is be able to get into that area when we want to construct the stairway. And we could do that by going to levels. For instance, we could go to level 1. And if I was to click on this here, and we could start building that, but we don't get all the visualizations of some of the places where we want to connect to up at the mezzanine level. And so what I would suggest is another technique that we can use is I'll go back to that model view, and I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it. I'm going to duplicate the view, and I'm going to rename this one right away. I'm going to call it stair working. And that just means that it's a place where it's a work in progress. We're working on it. When we completed the construction of the stair, we could just as easily delete this one and get rid of all the clutter of all the different kind of views we have. So once I have stair working created, I'm going to highlight the section box for that drawing. And once it shows up like that, I'm going to select it, and I'm going to drag things back until I can see into the area where I want to work on that stairway. And I'll pull this back just a little bit so we see that beam, and we'll get rid of some of this front area. So we want our stairway to be right in this zone here. Let's go to the top view now. I'm going to rotate this so it's in the right orientation. It should be south down. And the rendering really doesn't show nicely. I think I'm going to make a few modifications to it just for educational purposes. I'm going to show the edges, and I'll turn off the shadows. They're really not very helpful to us right now. And there we have a place to start constructing our stairway. So the way we do that is we go to Architecture tab, and we locate the stair. And we're going to build it by the Run mode. And we're going to use the line tool to create that. We just need to make sure that we're going from the right point, one level down to one level up, level 1 to up to the mezzanine. So let me change that right now. So we're going to go from level 1 up to the mezzanine level. We want to make sure that we have the assembled stair that has a 7-inch riser and an 11-inch tread. That means that for every step you take, you go up 7 inches, and the landing area for your foot is 11 inches deep. Let's make this stairway at least 4 feet wide, because that's really almost a minimal comfortable space for people to pass by each other in a commercial stairway. And I think we're pretty close to being ready to start drawing here. So I'm going to zoom down here to the bottom area, and I'm going to just touch the front edge of this mezzanine. Remember, we're starting on level 1, so we're really not drawing against this mezzanine right now. And I'm going to come up 4 feet, and I'm going to come out, and I want you to watch the risers created and risers remaining. And we want to find the halfway construction of this stairway, because we're going to make it switch back with a landing. So I have 13 risers created and 13 remaining, which means I'm at the halfway point. So I'm going to click to complete that, and then I'm going to move up here. And I'm going to get some hinting. I may get good hinting. I think we can make this 10 feet off. Let me just type in 10 and then start drawing back. So the 10 means that, well, I can dimension this later on, but the idea is I have a gap here. If I select this stairway and I want to change this, let's say this is 8 feet, so we know this is 4, and it's 6 here. So there's a 2-foot gap here, just as the same 2-foot gap here. Once again, the number is 4 feet, and then 2 feet off the steel when we started. So that's 6, and then 7, 8 would be the other edge of this stairway. So that's a pretty good number, to work with. So let's go to the 3D view so we can take a look at what that appears like now. And you'll notice there's no railings on it. And the reason there are no railings is because we haven't completed that drawing yet. So the minute I hit the check mark, the railings are placed on. If we don't like the railings, like I don't right now, I don't like the vertical lines. It's just a personal preference. It doesn't have to be yours. You can change that at any point. So I'm going to just change that to, well, I can show you the glass panels, or we can change it to a pipe. And I have to change both of those. So let me select that one also and change it. And the guardrail pipe means that I also have this handrail here. So this handrail is at the code required height, and then the railing is extending up by that to make sure that the rail is high enough for fall protection. So that completes our construction of the stairway. Next thing we need to do is prevent people from falling off our mezzanine by placing some more railings there, and we'll do that in the next clip.